down, baby, be mine.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am doing something a little bit different today. I am showing you how I created, my plait is kind of in the way, but how I created this very, very simple fox eye look. I didn't take you through the whole face, the rest is things you've seen a million times before. I just wanted to do a tutorial which was really like straight to the point and explains all the basics and everything that you need to know to really nail a fox eye. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, don't forget to let me know down below, hit the like button and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. I love you all so much, and I will let you carry on watching. Mwah. Okay, so as you can see, I have done my foundation and my brows because it's just not really relevant. So now I'm going to start from everything from the start of the eyes. So we're going to start by priming the eyelids. Personally, for a fox eye, I really like to use concealer rather than like a clear eyeshadow primer. If you do have an eyeshadow primer which is like opaque and gives you like a blank sort of canvas, then you can go for that. I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this is in the shade Warm Beige. So I'm going to put quite a generous amount, and I'm going to take it all the way up to my brows, and I'm kind of making sure that I cover the entire length of my eye. And then what I've done is I've taken my Laura Mercier I dropped it. Oh, for God's sake, man. So I'm taking my Laura Mercier powder and I'm just gonna kind of tap it out now so it's ready. So I've got some in the lid. Now I'm gonna take a damp sponge and I'm just going to blend this out. Oh my days, I'm wearing that bracelet again, which is like hella jingly. So you just want to make sure that you blend it out all the way. I deliberately do the eyes after foundation but before concealer and the rest of my base, and you will kind of see why. Oh, so making sure I'm covering even the very, very inner corners. So we've got a nice blank canvas. Now I'm taking my sponge, pushing it into the Laura Mercier powder and pushing it across the entire space on my eyelids. Then I'm just going to take a small kind of fluffy brush with some powder and push it all in, and also dust off any excess. What this basically does is it gives us a very, very clean canvas. So it's taken away the sort of natural dimension to our eyes. It kind of looks more like a flat base. So the idea of a fox eye is you create a particular shape to your eye. You kind of change the shape of your eye. So by starting with a blank canvas like this, you can easily change the shape of your eye to how you want it to be. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to take my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. You don't necessarily need to use this palette. I just want like a really nice sort of neutral brown matte eyeshadow that I can just sweep across the lid as kind of like a transition shade. So I'm going to use this one over here. It's my favourite one to use. It's kind of like a caramelly tone. What this is going to do is it's just going to kind of reduce the brightness of the eyes at the moment, because it is really standing out. We don't want it to be like too bright and one-dimensional. So I go in really, really lightly and just warm some of this into the crease. Literally nothing crazy, just a few swipes into the crease, blending it out to make sure it's not too harsh anywhere. And it just makes the eyes look a lot more natural. You see how it's just kind of toned it all down a little bit? Okay, now it's time to actually create the fox eye kind of shape. So I'm taking this little Morphe brush over here. It doesn't actually have like a name because it came in a set. It's in the Glance Party, is it? Pretty sure it's not Dance Party. I'm pretty sure it's Glance. Dance would kind of make more sense, but I think it's Glance. I'll keep it in the description box. Anyways, so let me show you what it looks like if my camera wants to do me a solid. Oh, look at me doing an old school YouTuber style, you know. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, It's got some fluffiness to it, but it's still very short and kind of dense. So because it's small, it's going to give us the precision that we want, so it's not going to go messy. We can have a lot of control over the way that the shape is going to turn out. So I'm going to take this dark matte brown. I will show you in the same palette. It's this, is it that one? Yeah. This one over here. I'm going to take it on the very tip of the brush, and then what I'm going to do, actually let me zoom you in a little bit. As you can see, my natural eye shape, it goes up and then down. So I'm going to find the point where it starts to go down, which is here. At this point it starts to droop down. Now because the fox eye trend is very like snatched and upright, what we want to do is we want to make this bit almost extend, so it kind of lifts the part of the eye that goes downwards. So we're going to create that sort of illusion by taking the dark brown and slowly just kind of edging it. You want to go as close to the lash line as you can, and you want it to go thicker towards the end. So this way you put a little bit more product, and as you go closer to the lash line further across the eye, it gets slimmer. So imagine it almost as like a triangle shape, kind of like this. So you can pull your eye if you find it a little bit easier to make the skin taut. And then what I like to do is just wing it out, but I follow the natural line. I don't like to make it go upwards. I prefer to level it out a little bit. So for instance, I will like semi-close my eyes so I can see the shape like this. If I look straight on, I can see that I want, okay, I need to fill in this bit a little bit and extend it kind of as like a horizontal line outwards. So I'm gonna slowly keep shading it. Now as you can see, I've left this bit bare because I don't want to put too much product and it go too messy and then get like a little bit which is on the actual arch of my eye, which is just going to throw off the shape. So now I'm going to take my Zoeva smudger brush. This is the 226. Let me show you what it looks like. It's got almost like a line at the top, but you can see it's very pinched. So it's going to give us the precision that we want to get like a straight line. So what I'm going to do is take that brush on that same dark brown shade, and this time I'm going to go a little bit closer. So this brush just allows us the precision which the other brush was not really able to deliver. So you can also run it across the top just to make it neater and perfect that sort of straight line that we've created. At this point, I like to stop and take a look and see how much I've done and how far I want to wing it out. So now I'm going to take it out further. So I'm keeping that line, but I'm bringing it from the angle of downwards. I'm bringing a line up so that it meets it on its standard straight path over there. And the trick is to keep stopping and looking straight into a mirror and seeing, okay, see here it looks too much like down and up. So I know that I need to add a little bit more product here to make it so that when I look directly on, it's like this rather than this. Does that make sense? You need to keep assessing it based on your eye shape, but as long as you just keep checking and look straight to see the kind of illusion of the shape you've created, you can't go wrong. Now I'm just going to take a small little fluffy brush and diffuse out the edges. Wherever you kind of want to stop it winging out, you can take it as big, as long, as high as you want, but when you've decided the cutoff point, just fade it out. Now what I like to do is take a matte black shade on that thin brush, and I take it really close to the lash line. So I don't extend it further because black is a colour you need to be very sparing with, but I pack it just at the closest points to the lash line and fade it out straight away. So now you've got a little bit of a gradient going on, so it goes dark to lighter. Okay, now I'm gonna go and repeat the same thing on the other eye and I will be back. Okay, so as you can see, I've done the other side. Now the next step is kind of optional, but I'm gonna throw it in here anyways. So you wanna take like any sort of bone colored eyeshadow, matte. Can be shimmery if you want, but matte is better. So I'm going to be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette, and I'm going to take the shade Base, which is this one over here. It's kind of like a pale yellow, And I'm gonna take it on. This is not helpful. You can't see that. You still can't see that. Do you get what I mean though? It's like a half, it's like that shape and it's like fluffy, yeah? So I'm gonna take that, and you wanna go from the inner corner and just follow the natural kind of shape of your lid. So I'm not taking it above the crease, and then I'm slowly diffusing it as we get to about halfway-ish. And you can make this as harsh or as subtle as you want. You can take any kind of blending brush after and just fade it out if you feel like it's too intense. So what this does is it kind of opens up that part of your eye. See how it's just sort of lifted it? Okay, now it's time for lashes, and this is basically the part which makes the whole look really fox eye-like. So in terms of choosing the lashes for this look, you want to pick something which has longer, how am I going to hold this with my nails? Okay. This one, I mean, I really like my dramatic lashes, so these are still quite dramatic all the way through, but you want the outer corner of the lashes to be more winged out. You don't want it to be level, you want it to kind of wing out, almost like a cat eye sort of shape. Now there's also a little trick in terms of how you stick the lashes. So you want to, instead of, okay, how do I describe this? Instead of placing it directly on your lash line from the front to the end of the lash, the outer lash, you want to kind of lift slightly. So the front part of your lash is as close to your lash line as possible, but then the outer bit, if you kind of glue it slightly above your natural lash line, so that way it doesn't emphasize the curvature of your eye, you kind of follow that straight line that you've tried to mimic. So maybe if I do it, it will be easier for you to get what I mean. So I'm just taking my lash glue. This one is the brush on adhesive with vitamins, latex free from Duo. I'm allergic to so many, so I really can't be picky with my lash glue. So yeah, not the best one in the world, but it does the trick. So I'm just going to coat my lash band as normal, and then I'm going to wait a few seconds for it to get a bit tacky. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking the front half of the lash and sticking it there. I am moving the entire lash more this way so it focuses on the outer part of my eye. And then I'm just lifting the tail end of the lash, and you can see I'm bringing it up. See how already it gives that lifted look? And then you want to go and secure the inner corner right on your lash line. You don't want to take that any higher. You only want to move the outer corner of the lash to help wing it upwards. So you can see how that's just assisted in the way that it's just lifted our eyes. Okay, so the lashes are on. Now what I like to do is I like to assess how it's looking and see if I want to change anything, which I do. So I'm gonna take the first brush that we started with, and what I want to do is sort of smudge the top line out a little bit so it fades up a little bit more. So I'm gonna take a mixture of the really dark brown and the transition shade, and I'm gonna sort of pack it just above the line that we have and slowly start just sort of diffusing it outwards. So everything quite soft at this point. No like harsh lines that you're trying to draw here. It's subtle, but it can make a really, really big difference. Okay, so now it is time for concealer. It may seem not related, but it is, because it's going to help to just make it all really snatched upwards. So I'm going to go ahead and do my usual color correcting, and then I will come back to you when we're doing the concealer. Alright, so I've done my like color correcting concealer. So this is the Born This Way concealer in the shade Warm Beige, which is what we used on the lids. I'm going to do my normal kind of concealing areas. And then I'm gonna take it upwards. You're gonna do a sharp line upwards like that. You kind of want to follow the natural shape that your lashes take, and you want to go in the direction of the lashes. You see that? so it wings upwards. And then just fill in any other areas across your face that you sort of want to highlight. Now what this is going to do is completely clean it up, and it's going to help to give us that fake sort of facelifted look, which is obviously all about the fox eye. So what I'm going to do is finish up the rest of my makeup, come back, and then we will work on the final touches for the eyes. Okay, so I finished the rest of my face just how I normally would. Now we're going to go and finish up the eyes. So we're going to start with some brown eyeliner. This is like a brown pencil eyeliner, which I really like, and this is really subtle, but I feel like it just complements the shape of the eye so nicely. Like, I love doing this step. I want to kind of line just this out a bit, and I'm not going to take it all the way. I just kind of want to take it and trail it out. So I'm going to do a thicker line towards the outside, blend it with the bit that's going upwards, and then slowly take it into my waterline only. I start by just taking the corner and almost flicking the pencil upwards. I run it over a few times just to get a dense colour. You see how I've just kind of put it in the corner? It already is kind of like looking more put together than this one. Then I'm just gonna take it up slightly and blend it into the eyeshadow. You can use a brush for this bit if you find it a bit easier. And then I'm just taking it very lightly and trailing it off. Just like that. So you can see how it's just kind of complemented that shape. Okay, that bit is done. Now finally, I'm going to take this little brush and I'm going to take my Urban Decay All Night Setting Spray and just spray the tip. And then I'm going to take my highlighter. This is the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Conceited. And I'm going to take a little bit on the brush and just apply this to my inner corners, and it will just help to brighten it up a little bit more, and it ties in like your face highlighter with your eyes and things like that, and it also makes your eyes appear more kind of doe-eyed, which we want. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like more of these kind of like short little snippets of different looks, then make sure that you let me know and what other looks you want to see, and I will definitely get on it for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also like this video and give me a little comment, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Stay safe, stay positive, stay creative, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.